What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again today for number 2 of the season previews, going alphabetical order. As I did last time with Anaheim, we'll go through this again. I'll get into the rhythm of things. Please go back and watch the Anaheim one if you haven't, and then as well watch the next 30 that I will be doing for every single NHL team this season. If you want to catch Anaheim's first, you'll get how it's going to go, or if you just want to watch Boston, it's going to go pretty much the same way. We're doing Boston now. Excuse me. Boston's in a tricky spot. Don Sweeney's been their GM for now. This is going to be his 10th year as the GM. Took over in 2015. And you'll get very mixed opinions from Boston fans on whether he's done a good job, a bad job. I personally think he's done a middle ground job. He's kept them in contention for a long time. And it's finally the time where it's starting to fall off because they're trying to keep that streak alive. Their coach, brand new, Marco Sturm. Sturm, longtime player, played with the Bruins, I believe, so we'll see if he's got some magic work behind the bench for his first NHL head coaching gig. To the forward group, first line, you got Geekie, Lindholm, and Pastrnak. Geekie has re-signed with Boston at $5.5 million until 2031. You have the Lindholm deal, $7.75 until 2031, and Pastrnak, $11.25 until 2031. Pasternak's the only one that's going to live up to that contract because Geekie had a career year. Lindholm was not worth that when he just signed. He had a good playoffs in Vancouver and a good year in Calgary. Didn't play well in the regular season for Vancouver 2 years ago. Overall, Pasternak's going to be carrying that line as pretty much carrying this team. It could even be a question if Pavel Zacha moves up. We'll get to the second line now. You have Middlestat, $5.75 million until 2027. Zacha, $4.75 until 2027, and Arvidsson, $4 million until 2026, who they acquired from Edmonton. These lines are also from Puckpedia, I should say it again. That's all I'll be for every single one of these. Zacha had a career year a couple years ago. Can he get back to that form? Maybe moves ahead of Lindholm on the depth chart here. We'll see. Looks like 2031 is going to be a big year because you're having all of this money come off the books. You have 11.25. So let's say 11, 8, that's 19, plus 5.5. That's $24.5 million coming off the books in 2031 right there. Moving on, third line, you have Tanner Jeannot, $3.4 million until 2030. One of the most bewildering signings of the free agency period. It's like they looked at Tampa Bay after Tampa Bay gave up basically a full draft class for him and said, we're going to do something even stupider. We're going to sign him long term. And that's exactly what they did. I'm hoping Jeannot does well. He has not really progressed since he started off really well in Nashville, and maybe he needs a fresh start. He's been with Tampa, he's been with LA. Maybe Boston will be the place where he gets his groove. He's a bigger guy, physical guy, something the Bruins probably need to get back to their. When you think of Bruins, you think of the big bad Bruins, and Jeannot kind of fits that type of player, and that's a problem that I see with this roster. We'll get more into it as we go on. Corrali, $1.85 million until 2027. Not your ideal third-line center, but he's been with Boston before. Potras is an RFA next summer. He's probably my favorite Bruin at this point. He looks great. They also signed Asimont, $1.45 million until 2027. John Beecher's an RFA, who Boston fans just seem to hate for whatever reason. RFA in 2026. And Kastelik, who Boston fans seem to love, $1.566 until 2028. They extended him after the Allmark deal. Looking at the defense, or we can look at the forward depth. You also have Hustadinov, who they got from Minnesota. Lysell, who they feel like they've been waiting for to develop forever. Fraser Minton, who they got in the Brandon Carlo deal, and he could be a big piece of this team going forward. He might be able to fit into that second line center spot if in the future, if all goes well. And if not, third line center, you move Corrali down and move Beecher around. You have some young players here, but nothing that's really going to push them over the top until we get to their last player. They signed Blumel, Alex Steves, Riley Tufte, and Patrick Brown. Those guys could all pop into the lineup if need be for extra depth. James Higgins, who is not going to play this year, but he's going to be the big piece for the Bruins going forward. He fell to them in the draft, originally projected first overall at the start of last year. He fell down to 7th. So we'll see how Higgins does in a Boston uniform, if he could be one of their pieces they're retooling or / rebuilding upon going forward. Looking at the defensive group, you have Lindholm and McAvoy. Yes, that's the second Lindholm. You have Hampus Lindholm there. It's Elias Lindholm in the forward group. Hampus Lindholm, 6.5 until 2030, and Charlie McAvoy, 9.5 until 2030. That's a good first pairing, but it needs to stay healthy. That was its downfall last year. Second pairing, Zadorov, $5 million until 2030. I wonder if they're regretting that deal yet. And then, they signed Jokiharju 3 years until 2028. Mason Lohrei comes in. He came into the lineup last year as a more prominent role. $3.2 million until 2027, where he will be an RFA. He's the best young defenseman this team currently has. Andrew Peeke is also here for one more year at $2.75 million. He'll be an unrestricted free agent. Other defensemen, they signed Jordan Harris, who Montreal let go, I believe, or it was Columbus or Montreal. That was part of the Line A trade, I believe. They traded for Soderstrom with Chicago, and they also have Brunet, who's another guy to watch that I'd look out for. Goaltending. Jeremy Swayman needs to have a better season. They signed him to all the money, $8.25 million until 2032. In his first year on that contract, he did not look good. So for Boston, getting Swayman in a better spot, better positioning, and having Swayman needs to having a better year himself, it's going to be all about him. If they can't keep the puck out of the net, this team has no chance to begin with. Korpisalo, $3 million until 2028. Good backup goaltender. And then in goaltending depth, they have Michael DiPietro as the third goalie. Can't complain there. Now, additions, if you want the full list, you have Soderstrom, Arvidsson, Jeannot, Corrali, Harris, Acemont, Blumel, and Steves. Subtractions, they lost Kepke to Winnipeg, Wotherspoon to Pittsburgh. I'm not sure if Lettieri signed, but I feel like it was maybe Toronto that signed him, but I don't know. Lauko signed in the Czech League, which that was confusing to me. I didn't understand why they didn't sign Lauko, because whenever I saw Lauko on TV, he was scoring. I know he didn't score a ton, but I know they let him go. They traded him or they let him go, and then he came back, and now he's out of the NHL completely. And that left me really confused because I thought he was one of their better younger players. Wallstrom they let walk. He's clearly not developing at the NHL level. Ian Mitchell goes to Detroit, and Fost was traded to Chicago in the Soderstrom deal. Or Fast. Ryan Fast, I believe his name was. This team, where they are right now. 2008 through 2014, this team makes the playoffs after a quick retool. 2015 and 2016, they go into a bit of a retool again. They never really go into a rebuild because they missed the playoffs, though, both 2015 and 2016 by about 1 or 2 points both years on off tiebreakers. So they really could have made the playoffs every year since 2008. They get back in 2017 and make the playoffs every year until 2024. And that was the last time they made the playoffs last year. This season, in 24-25, they went 33, 39, and 10 for 76 points. I wrote 73 down. That's going to bug me, so I'm just going to change it. That was good enough for 28th in the league, so a complete collapse by the Bruins. They went from a team that was consistently in the top 3 in their division, a team that was consistently, if not that, a wild card, to last, even below Buffalo. And that's saying something about this team. Yes, they're in the hardest division in the league by a mile. It's going to be a very competitive drive to get back up, in which it's something I think it's going to be very difficult because you expect Ottawa, Montreal, Detroit, and Buffalo to be better. Toronto, Tampa, and Florida are not going to fall off. Boston's the odd man out to kind of be at the bottom for a while, and at this point, with the long-term contracts they have, it's going to be hard to move out of the bottom, to say the least. Where do I see this team this year? Probably the bottom of the division again. When do I see this team back in the playoffs? Not soon. I said about Anaheim, I'd say look out for them in 26-27 and make a push for a wild card. 27-28, they should be in the playoffs. Boston, I'm not sure if they'll make the playoffs again in this decade, and I would say as of right now, probably not. But Boston is scary because they are one of those teams that could turn it around like no other and just start going on win streaks. And that's why I predicted them to be in the playoffs last year. 23 and 24, I predicted them out of the playoffs. 25, I predicted them in, and then they fall out. Maybe I predict them back in, maybe I predict them out this year, and then they go back in because Boston just has something that team is able to do. Buffalo should take a few lessons in just getting to the playoffs based off pure will. But that's going to be it for this video. Very interesting to see how the greatest regular season team in NHL history back in 2023 is out of the playoffs 2 years later. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Leave your thoughts down below on the Boston Bruins roster. And who are you looking forward to watching this season if you're a Bruins fan? And, yeah, have a good one.